In our next part,
Uh-huh.
we'll explore the rise of digital printing
Okay.
and how it compares to this tried and true method.
That's right. We'll be diving into the pros and cons of each method,
Exactly.
exploring when you might choose one over the other.
Yep.
So stick around. There's much more to uncover.
There is.
Okay. Picking up where we left off, we've explored the ins and outs of offset lithography.
Right.
It's clearly an intricate
Very intricate.
and fascinating process.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how does digital printing fit into all this?
That's a great question.
Is it a rival to offset or something completely different?
It's a great question. It's definitely shaking things up in the printing world.
Okay.
And in many ways, it's like comparing apples to oranges.
Okay.
They both produce printed materials,
Mm-hmm.
but the underlying technology and processes
Right.
are quite distinct.
All right, so let's break down those differences.
Okay.
What's the fundamental distinction
Sure.
between offset and digital printing?
At the heart of it lies how the image is transferred onto the paper.
Okay.
Remember all those steps in offset?
Yeah.
The plates, the ink water balance, the rubber blanket.
Right.
Digital printing cuts through all that.
So no plates.
No plates, no blanket.
No plates.
Just straight from digital file to printed page.
Essentially, yes.
That sounds a lot more straightforward.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Think of it like printing from your home computer,
Mm-hmm.
but on a much larger and more sophisticated scale.
Right.
Digital printing uses technologies
Okay.
like inkjet or laser printers to apply the ink directly to the paper
Okay.
based on a digital file. So it's like a supersized version of what I've got on my desk.
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay, that makes sense. So given that digital printing skips all those steps,
Right.
I'm guessing it's got some speed advantages over offset.
You're spot on. Digital printing really shines when it comes to speed,
Okay.
especially for smaller print runs.
Mm-hmm.
With offset, you've got all that setup time,
Yeah.
creating the plates, calibrating the press.
Right.
But with digital,
Yeah.
you can go from file to print almost instantly.
Okay, so if I need something printed quickly, like say invitations for a last-minute event,
Right.
digital would be the way to go.
Absolutely.
But what about larger quantities?
That's a good question.
Does offset eventually catch up in terms of speed?
It depends on the scale.
Okay.
For those big high-volume jobs,
Yeah.
offset can become more efficient
Mm-hmm.
because once you've got those plates made and the press running,
Right.
it's churning out prints at a pretty fast rate.
So it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
It's digital for speed on smaller runs.
Right.
Offset for efficiency on those massive print jobs.
Exactly.
But speed isn't the only advantage of digital, right?
You got it.
What about flexibility and customization?
Those are where digital really shines.
Yeah, okay.
With offset, once you've created the plates, you're pretty much locked in.
Right.
But digital offers incredible flexibility.
Uh-huh.
Need different versions of a brochure tailored to specific audiences.
Okay.
No problem. Just adjust the digital file and hit print.
That level of customization is pretty remarkable.
It is.
It's got to be a game changer for businesses
Oh, absolutely.
that need to target different customer groups with their printed
It's
materials.
a huge advantage.
And it goes even further with personalization.
Yeah,
Because digital printing is driven by data.
right.
You can customize each individual print.
You can.
Think about sending out mailers with each recipient's name on them.
Right, exactly.
Or creating unique variations of a product catalog
Yeah.
based on customer preferences.
That's the power of data.
Yeah, that kind of personalization just isn't feasible
Not really.
with traditional offset methods.
It's a whole different world.
So digital printing has this incredible agility and responsiveness
It does.
that traditional offset just can't match.
Right.
But I imagine there's got to be a trade-off somewhere.
Well, there are always trade-offs.
Right, offset is still a dominant force in the printing world for a reason.
That's true.
Okay, so let's talk image quality.
Okay.
What gives offset the edge in this area?
It boils down to the precision of the process.
Okay.
Remember that smooth rubber blanket?
Yeah.
And the way it transfers the ink so evenly?
Right.
That, combined with the finely etched plates,
Mm-hmm.
results in incredibly sharp images
Okay,
and vibrant colors.
I see.
Digital printing has come a long way,
Yeah.
but it can sometimes struggle to match that level of detail
Right.
and color fidelity,
Uh-huh.
especially on certain types of paper.
So for something like a high-end art book with intricate details and subtle color variations,
It's exactly,
offset is still the gold standard.
generally speaking, yes.
And then there's the cost factor
Mm-hmm.
for those large print runs.
Yeah.
While digital printing has become more competitive in terms of cost,
The gas.
offset still tends to be more economical
Right.
when you're printing thousands or even millions of copies.
For those huge volumes, yeah.
I can see why the initial setup costs for offset might be higher because of the plates.
That's,
But once you're up and running,
uh-huh.
you're essentially churning out prints at a lower cost per unit.
Exactly. So it's not as simple as saying one method is better than the other.
Right.
It really depends on the specific project.
Okay.
The quantity you need, the level of customization,
Right.
the desired image quality,
Okay.
and of course your budget.
It's like having different tools in your toolbox.
I like that analogy.
You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a nail, right?
Absolutely.
And as technology continues to advance,
Yeah.
the lines between offset and digital are becoming even blurrier.
They are.
We're seeing hybrid printing solutions
Yeah.
that combine the best of both worlds,
That's-
offering even more flexibility
That's the exciting part.
and creative possibilities.
It really is.
Hybrid printing,
Yeah.
that's really intriguing.
It's an interesting development.
It sounds like the printing industry is in a state of constant evolution.
It always has been.
It is, and as we look to the future,
Yeah.
it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
There are important environmental considerations to weigh as well.
We got it.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Printing, regardless of the method,
Got
does have an environmental impact.
It does.
So when we're comparing offset and digital,
Okay.
which one comes out ahead in terms of sustainability?
It's not a clear-cut answer, unfortunately.
Okay.
While digital printing eliminates the need for plates
Mm-hmm.
and uses less water,
Right.
it often relies on energy-intensive processes
Oh, okay.
and can generate more waste in the form of toner cartridges. And other consumables,
Uh-huh.
offset, on the other hand,
Yeah.
uses plates that can be recycled
Okay.
and inks that are increasingly being formulated with sustainability in mind.
So there are pluses and minuses on both sides.
There are.
Is there a way to make either printing method more eco-friendly?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot depends on how the printing process is managed.
Okay.
Both offset and digital printing can be done sustainably
Uh-huh.
if printers prioritize things like using recycled paper,
Right.
minimizing waste,
Okay.
and opting for environmentally friendly inks and toners.
So it's not just about the technology itself,
Right.
but about how responsibly it's used?
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices.
It sounds like choosing a printer who is committed to sustainability is key.
It is. It's a big factor.
Exactly. The most eco-conscious approach
Yeah,
involves considering the entire life cycle of the printed product,
that's right.
from the sourcing of materials
Uh-huh.
to the end-life disposal or recycling.
Thinking about the whole picture?
It's about making responsible choices at every stage.
It is.
It's clear there's a lot more to consider than just the final printed piece.
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
I'm really starting to see the depth and complexity of the printing world.
It's a fascinating field.
We've gone from the mechanics of offset
Right.
to the rise of digital and now these environmental considerations.
It's a lot to cover.
What strikes me is how printing seems to be at this intersection
Yeah.
of art, technology, and responsibility.
It really is. You've put your finger on it.
That's a perfect segue into the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
I'm really curious to explore what lies ahead for printing
Yeah.
in this ever-evolving world.
It's changing all the time.
What new innovations are on the horizon?
It's an exciting time.
What role will digital technologies play?
Lots of possibilities.
And will printed materials continue to thrive in our increasingly digital world?
All great questions.
Yeah.
I'm eager to delve into them.